Hey everyone, good morning. Matt here. This is your daily stimulus check and stimulus package update for Tuesday, December 15th. The stimulus negotiations are turning into a really bad and pathetic boxing match. Can you just imagine all of Congress up in the ring? They're bouncing around with their shorts hiked up to their armpits, shirts off, sweat everywhere, and all they're doing is continuing to peek up at the clock, waiting to run that thing down to zero. As I was saying that, I was picturing Skeletor with shorts hiked up to their armpits, like a pale Skeletor bouncing around. Anyway, if you're new here, my name is Matt. Welcome to the channel. I really appreciate you checking me out. And if you're returning, I hope you're having a nice week so far. As for all of you, if you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button and feel free to share this video or any of my others of the 700 videos that I have here on the channel with your friends, family, social media, whatever. But let's talk about what we have as of this morning on Tuesday, now that we're talking about Skeletor, and see what old Skelly has for us. So, the Congress I should say, not the Congress they're going to be introducing their government spending bill today, that's what's anticipated, to keep the government funded through September 30th of 2021. Because as of right now, the government is only funded until the end of the day Friday. Just a few more days until the government runs out of funding once again. So, we'll have to see if they actually introduce that. The reason that's important because what they want to do is they want to attach the stimulus package to the government spending bill. So they need to have that thing hammered out and all the details solidified in order to introduce it and get it all finished up, polished up, ready to go so that they can attach this stimulus package to it if they ever get that done. So that's to come here too. We are continuing to wait further reaction and remarks from the parties after that bipartisan group of senators released those two proposals yesterday afternoon. I had a video yesterday afternoon after the release, and it came in line with just about what we were expecting. There were a few changes within it, which I'm going to talk about here in just a second, but we're still waiting for further reaction. Now remember, this is just their introduction. This is what they were proposing. Let's do this. We've seen so many proposals over the last few months. It's getting to be ridiculous. Well, I should say it is ridiculous. It's not getting to be. It already has been. It's ridiculous. But anyway, we have all these proposals, and what happens is they propose it, and then the two sides come together and they kind of hash out, okay, this is what's important to us. This is what we need. This is what we can take out. Here's where we can compromise, all of this. So we're still waiting for further remarks from the parties to see how they want to proceed with these proposals. If you didn't catch my videos yesterday, I'll just take 30 seconds and run through this. Basically, they took the $908 billion package that we saw from that bipartisan group of senators. They took out the $160 billion for the state and local government and the liability protections and put that in its own little bill. So basically, it comes down to a $748 billion package that has all of the parameters, all of the elements within it, except for the $160 billion for state and local and the liability protection. So that's its own little separate proposal, or its little separate bill. So it's split into two at this time. This is how it stands as of right now. So again, that other $916 billion proposal that was introduced last week from the White House with stimulus checks, that one's still floating around out there. That's still out there, but there hasn't been a whole lot of talk about it lately. So here's what I wanted to talk about. I talked about this yesterday in the yesterday afternoon video. After this new proposal was released, much of it was the exact same. However, there were a couple things that were different that caught my attention because it actually influences the people, many of you here on the channel, and this is why I thought this is important and it's not cool what they're doing. So in the original proposal, they had $288 billion for small business, another round of that PPP. Again, that doesn't apply to many people here, but why I'm bringing that up, it was originally $288 billion as being proposed. However, it got bumped up to $300 billion, and the price tag didn't change. So what's that mean? They took $12 billion from something else and put it into small business funding. Well, where did it come from? What do you know? They took it out of nutrition assistance, otherwise known as like food assistance or SNAP benefits is what I pretty much should say. It's not all from SNAP, but it's from food assistance programs. I'll talk about that here in just a second. So let's get into it. So in the original proposal, they were allocating $26 billion for nutrition assistance. Like I said, SNAP, food banks, food pantries, food for seniors, all of this. So they had $26 billion allocated. In the second proposal that was released last night, like the newly revised two proposals, what they did is they reduced it by 50% down to $13 billion. Well, we found the $13 billion that went into small business. Well, the $12 billion, I should say, but we found it. They took it out of food. They took it out of nutrition assistance, and they put it into small business. Cool. When I say cool, I mean I'm being sarcastic. That's not cool. So rather, they would have take food from people and give it to small business. Anyway, so it's $13 billion for nutrition assistance is what they have in there now. What this encompasses is a 15% boost to SNAP benefits for 4 months. I actually made a dedicated video about that. I don't remember the day, honestly. It was a few days ago. I made a dedicated video talking about that 15% raise or short-term boost for 4 months for SNAP benefits that's in this proposal. So if you want more details on that, feel free to scroll back. Check out that video. It was just a couple days ago. I honestly don't remember which day it was. It was a few days ago. So it's a short-term 4-month boost for SNAP benefits at a rate of 15% boost. So that's in there. There's also this $13 billion is allocated for food banks, food pantries, and food assistance or nutrition assistance for seniors. So we'll have to watch all of this closely too, see how they're going to do that. Also within this package, there's $10 billion, not out of the $13 billion, but within the stimulus proposal, this one that was released yesterday. There's $13 billion that's allocated for the PEBT, and this is it's extended to families with childcare. So basically, this is like the program. So kids that go to school and they get the free school lunches. This is like in place of that because most kids aren't in school right now. So this is in place of that. What it is just extending benefits to families that have kids who would otherwise be in school getting those free lunches. It also extends to families who have children in childcare. So $10 billion allocated for that. Also, when it comes to rental or the eviction ban, that's extended for 30 days to January 31st. So it's a 1-month extension. I talked about this yesterday afternoon. I know it's not much, but it is enough to get past the inauguration of the new administration. And the reason that's important is because people are saying that Joe Biden could come in and unilaterally extend the eviction ban after that. So basically, they're just getting it past that January 20th inauguration date and then just thought, you know what, let's just pass it on to Joe Biden, let him figure it out. If he can unilaterally do it himself, then fine. Maybe he'll just do that then. So we'll have to see, but either way, at least there's an extension of at least 1 month. Again, we want a lot more than that. We want rents to be forgiven, rental assistance, all this stuff. But that's what we're doing with the ban. There is that $25 billion of rental assistance in there. Again, I can make a dedicated video talking about the distribution of that $25 billion, of how it's going to be distributed. I said that kind of weird. Distributed. I can make a dedicated video about that. That goes into much more detail than I really want to hit on in this video because I just want to kind of give you a briefing of everything in here. So yeah. Also, stimulus checks. A lot of you want to know what's going on with stimulus checks. We're still waiting on those. Those are not in there as of now still. However, it was just introduced, all of this, yesterday afternoon. So we'll need to see what happens either later today. It's still pretty early today and Tuesday morning when I'm recording this video. So nothing has come out yet that's worth reporting yet. I mean, there's a lot of, they just waste time, honestly. They waste a lot of time making statements that don't really tell us anything. But that's what's happened so far this morning. But I'll watch it this afternoon and see what happens if there's any statements on stimulus checks. Meanwhile, Bernie Sanders and Josh Hawley continue to come together and say, hey, we need stimulus checks. Not so much Josh Hawley, but Bernie Sanders has really been pounding the table lately on $1,200 stimulus checks. And he continues to say that he is not going to vote in support of the government spending or the stimulus proposals, the stimulus bills, unless they contain $1,200 stimulus checks. So we'll have to see. what happens with all of that. And remember, all of this could get passed by the House, the Senate, and go to the president. He could look at it and say, it doesn't contain stimulus checks. Veto. Take it out of here. Go back to the drawing table. Add them in. You just never know what's going to happen when it gets to that final stage, waiting for a signature from the president. So there's a lot of people that this needs to run through before it can actually get approved. So, like I've been saying all week, we are not giving up on stimulus checks ever. We are not giving up. We do not give up here on this channel. We continue to fight on. So that's what we're doing. One last thing I want to leave you with, and that is the IRS was out with an announcement saying that there are text message scams regarding stimulus checks. Now, of course, many of us already know about this. There's a lot of scams going on with all kinds of things, but please just be aware of this. If you receive a text message, an email, a phone call saying that you've received and that you're eligible for a $1,200 stimulus check, please just recognize that's a scam. It's not. The IRS will never call you. They will never email you. They will never send you a text message talking about a stimulus check. So please avoid those at all costs. If you can, report them. If not, whatever, just delete it. But never open up any links that they have in text messages or emails. If somebody physically calls you and says, I'm the IRS and I'm giving you a stimulus check, give me your bank account information, do not fall for that. Hang up on them. It's a scam, okay? That's all there is to it. It's a scam. They're not going to do that. So please just be aware of this. Unfortunately, I continue to read these articles, and they give all these statistics of the billions upon billions of dollars that people have been scammed out of this year. So just continue to be aware. I know I continue to say this, but you know what? Somebody's fallen for it, and I just want to make sure none of you happen to do that. I know it's enticing. I know it's desperate times right now, but you know what? We just got to hold tight until we wait for Skeletor to come together and push together the stimulus bill, because we wouldn't want them to possibly stimulate the stimulus, would we? Apparently not. So that's what we have as of now. Stay tuned. I'll probably be back later this afternoon.